So, hello everybody. Boy, it has been almost a year. On March 23rd, which is my lucky number, and I did not plan this at all, um, I took a bit of a hiatus. And I don't think it was planned. But as it turned out, it was probably the best thing I could have ever done for myself, for my brand, and what I've learned over the course of a year and this work that I've been doing probably spans a number of years, but it's become more intense as of within the past couple years, namely this past year, as I started to notice all kinds of patterns and things that kind of a stuck feeling. But this deeper, it's almost like a deeper knowing. And I was always reminded, years and years ago, I don't know how long this is going to be. This is totally off the cuff. I'm probably going to be bouncing around a lot. And for those of you who don't know me, I think an introduction is probably in order. My name is Matthew Molcio. I am the owner, designer, creative director, and mastermind alchemist behind KATRAA. And that is my brand. KATRAA means energy, and I believe that everything is energy. And I know I'm not alone. These are scientific precepts, and all this stuff has already been mapped out and calculated by them. So yeah, I harness that because I am also, for those of you who are a sci-fi aficionado, nerd like myself, KATRAA is Vulcan. Yes, big surprise. So yeah, I just decided this is probably bouncing around a little bit. I realize I'm like touching the table. So mind you, this is all like I said, off the cuff. I'm gonna turn the fan on, excuse me a moment. Oh, that's so much better. Oh, the wind blowing in my nether regions. It's up on my face. And yeah, some of you who do know me probably wouldn't be surprised by the hair. I've gone through a lot of different stages over the many, many years, from dreadlocks down to the back of my knees, to a bihawk, to mohawks, and then the dreads. I've had blonde hair, I've had shaved hair, I've had so many different hairstyles, and I think we're in the year of the rabbit, so I could use that one. I'm gonna harness the bunny energy. I just hope I'm in frame because I can't see anything right now on the other side. Oh boy, I'm moving the table again. So this will be my first YouTube video, and hopefully it's good enough. I mean that it's actually, I'm in picture. I think I am. I think I'm centered. Then I'll share it. If not, this is just me getting the ball rolling. The ping that I had today, so many confirmations, like so many things have been building. I've gotten confirmation from my spirit guides, both on the astral and spiritual plane, as well as in the 3D, and from just people around me, and little signs and synchronicities that continue to show up each and every day. And I do take note of these things. I have quite an elaborate list that goes back to like 2016. But the past year has been like I've been highly focused on tuning into to spirit. People call it God consciousness, universe, whatever you choose for your, I almost touched the table again. Whatever you choose to describe the spiritual, your connection to God, goddess, whatever. Yeah, so that's what I've been making time for. And there was a quote, I think I started on this and then bounced around. There was a quote by Anthony Robbins, whom he's one of the self-help individuals. I don't like the term guru. I don't even think he does, but he's one of the self-help guys, coaches, life coach, who his knowledge and wisdom helped me through some very difficult times around 2010, 11, 12, when I had a very serious, one of many rock bottoms. And I'll get into this. I don't, know, like I said, I don't know where this is going to go. I do have some time. I don't want it to be whatever. It is what it is. I've got a lot of time for this. So, yes, what he had said in there was work harder on yourself than on your business. When I first started my business, my brand, I launched in 2015. I did not apply this at all. And it wasn't until 7, 8 years later where the patterns and everything started to come up. And I saw, it was humbling to see how low my self-worth was. What I was allowing into my spaces, what I was charging for my work was a big indicator. My God, I mean, looking back, I did it, and I'm learning to be gentle with myself, because I've learned that it doesn't do us much good to beat ourselves up. Yeah, I've tried it. It doesn't work. It's not very encouraging, the same way with a child, right? I mean, if you want, I don't know, everybody's got their own view on parenting, but I think that encouragement, support, patience, grace, making space, empathy, compassion, we all have our moments for sure, but I think those are the things we should lead with, especially when it comes to parenting ourselves, reparenting ourselves, and that inner child that is wounded. So, anyways, that's what this past year has been for me. And I'm really grateful for all the people. Alex, who she has introduced me to some very, it's like the information will connect with us in time when we're ready for it, when we're ready to receive it, and when we're open enough to receive it. And that's why I think, in the beginning I was like, God, there's so many, like, the markets are so saturated with certain things. You look at, design work, people doing jewelry and even the self-help or self-improvement niche. But the way that I see it now, if it has the potential to benefit humanity, we need as many people as we can get, especially now, with the way that the energies are moving, and how so many systems and structures are just crumbling because they have to. The old stuff doesn't serve us and it has to fall away, just like, the snake shedding its skin. In order for us to evolve and grow, we have to stuff has to die. So the symbolism, even in tarot, the death card, I think it's one of the most powerful, is the symbol of death and rebirth. Parts of us symbolically have to die away. And actually it is physically too. Every day our body is going through regeneration. Cells, thousands and thousands of cells are dying away every day, and the organs are being rebuilt. And you can really have some tremendous healing if you Take the time to give your body exactly what it needs. And that is love and nourishment. But if you, I was a raw fooder for 4 years too, so that was a whole venture in and of itself. It was powerful. But again, I went about it from the fear of getting sick, and I was taking care of my physical body versus my mind, and then I cracked. And it wasn't necessarily because of I don't believe it to be because of being nutrient deficient or anything. I honestly believe that where I'm at now, well, with my understanding now, is that my body, my soul needed to have this experience. And it was painful and it was scary as shit. And it happened twice. So I'll get into my whole hospitalization on another one. But it's amazing what I've been through, what I put myself through, and where I'm at now. And yeah, I hope that my story will inspire others who have dreams and aspirations to build something, to create something that is authentically themselves. And I am still on my journey. Like, look, I'm just working out of this little studio at my parents' house. And it was very humbling to have these multiple situations arise over and over and over again. But each one has helped direct me to where I am today. And I wouldn't change anything because I wouldn't be here. And yeah, in those moments where it's challenging, like you're in the thick of it, you're just like, God, this sucks. It's all part of it. So before I get too philosophical, I mean, this can really go, I'm going to be writing a book about all my journey, because I really do think it could help a lot of people, because I've experienced a lot. And it's crazy because literally most of it started at, I would say 32, 33. So it's been a wild ride. But yeah, I thought I had this ping. So I've always been in tune with the spirit world. I think that's something that I am acknowledging now. And when I met with Lisa, amazing. She is just an incredible individual who has shed light on so many things. And Alex introduced me to her. And I just, there's a soul connection there, probably multiple lifetimes. And she had said some things, and I'll share more in detail in another, because it really is, it's deep. And I'm there's been so many pings, I guess, that have been guiding me to speak my truth, to own these elements that light me up. For example, rocks and crystals. For those of you who have actually seen some of my Instagram posts and reels, I know there's a lot of great information out there, but those of you who have know my affinity for rocks and stones and nature, and I'm really owning that. Like, I think before it was kind of like something on the side, but I've taken that and moved it to the forefront. And in doing so, it's just opened me up to so many things. And I'm honoring that. Like, that is, for many years, even when I was raised Catholic, I don't subscribe to any sort of ideology now, but I had a deep connection with God even when I was a kid. And I drew pictures and all kinds of prayers, and I did that sort of stuff, and then I kind of lost touch with it. And I would say within the past 5 years, and especially the past 2, this has really just been reconnecting to that and realizing like how powerful and strong it is. It guides my life, and I trust it. Like I'm learning to trust it implicitly, because I am seeing the signs, I am following them, the synchronicities, and they're just leading me to these incredible experiences. So yeah, and maybe it even helps that 10.3% of my DNA is Native American. And I learned something cool the other day from a gal who had saw my jewelry, and I mentioned about she was wearing some really cool earrings, and I was like, those are cool. Did you make those? And she goes, no, I got them at a Native American powwow. And she goes, have you been? And I said, no, I haven't. And I said, well, I said, do you have to be of Native descent? And she's like, no, not at all. And I was like, cool, because I have a little bit actually of 10%, 10 point something. And she's like, really? And I said, yeah. She goes, the way that you can tell if you're of Native descent is you have Spanish, Portuguese, African, and Puerto Rican. I have all of them. And I have ancestors that are still alive in Puerto Rico. My great ancestors were indigenous Indian to Puerto Rico, from what I understand. So there's that too, and that could also be a factor that helps create that connection, because it's a part of me. For whatever it is, it's there. I feel it. I don't need to be associated to feel it, and nobody should. I mean, there are people who have that descent and that lineage and aren't honoring it, and people who are not of that lineage and they're totally honoring it. So if your intention in your heart is to better yourself and so that you could show up more authentically loving and connected, then by all means do it. Do what makes you happy. So I don't even know how long am I going. Yeah, so I was gonna say earlier, and this is, I don't know how I'm gonna share this. I'm not gonna do it right now, but I was sitting, so I just got a camera I'm really excited about, because I want to do some nature photography as well, because I love raptors. Birds of prey are just, it's my spirit animal, particularly red-tailed hawks. And so I see them every day. And sometimes I'm not even close to where their habitat is, but they're always there. I see them constantly, and it's just a reminder, that spirit, like, I believe that that's probably one of my guardian angels. And I'm owning that. As crazy as it may sound to some, it doesn't matter. At this point, I don't fucking care. So I was at my desk. I just pulled the little card out of my desktop, and was looking at some images, because I just got this camera and I was just playing around with it a little bit. And I was doing something right after. And I'm always paying attention to when I hear animals, whether it's like coyotes or whether it's birds or owls. And I teach myself to pause in that moment, to center myself and to be aware of my thoughts, what I was thinking and feeling in that moment. And it was a duck that quacked 3 times. And the duck for me is another very powerful spirit animal that is connected to the goddess Isis. And there's a whole amazing story around that really changed my life. It was a profound experience, probably one of the most profound that I have ever had. So I heard that duck fly by and quack 3 times, and I was like, it's now. And I had just listened to Chris Reck, who has an amazing YouTube channel, tarot. I think I love his readings because he's very intuitive, and the way that he reads is, there's always positive in it. Like, it's not, I like that he reads intuitively, and that his thing is no stinking thinking. So there's no negativity in his, or no doomsday. Like, that was one thing with tarot. Like, it just seems so future casting and frightening. Now I love it, you know? And I stick with the things that resonate. So only pick up what resonates with tarot. And you'll feel the resonance, because something will be like, oh, interesting. But it also depends on where you're at emotionally. People who have a lot of fear and worry and guilt, and if that's not healed, that's gonna be, could be what you pick up on. So anyways, this duck flew by. I'm getting a little sidetracked. And I thought, I paused, and I was like, okay, I feel like I'm supposed to do something right now. And I just had listened to his tarot reading, and it's like, get on this track, you know, you've got to share it. And I'm like, one of the things that I've had to work on is, or not work on, work through, is perfectionism. It's been one of the biggest Achilles heels for me. And I understand now, after doing this work and getting to the roots of this. I mean, meditating like every single day and spending the time there. It was very emotional, all of this. I've cried more in the past year than I have in my entire life. And it's been wonderful because it's a release, it's healing, you know, and I think the more we heal, the more we can show up open, our hearts open, and actually connect with people. And that's ultimately what every human being wants. I don't care what anybody says. That's what we all need. So the bird flew by, the duck, and it quacked. And I was like, all right, now it's time. So I went in the bathroom, and I was like, I'm just gonna do some little fun with my hair. Sometimes I wear my hair like this. And I wanted to, it was funny, I was at REI. I got a new hip pack. I'm gonna do a review on it. Because I do like, I think it's Cotopaxi? Yeah. I upgraded, bigger. So the way that I dress, people be like, what the hell? But I like it, you know. It's I make a lot of my clothes. I just throw things together, and as a designer, I just, you know, have fun. And hopefully it gives permission to a lot of people who need or don't have that sort of juxtaposition. Like, and my background is metal fabrication. I worked in construction for fucking 15 years, big industrial metal fab. So I love welding and you know, building stuff, big stuff, and little tiny things. I make dresses, I make whatever I want, you know, and I love that. You know, I think that's so unique to have embodying. I paint, I draw, paint portraits. You know, it's like, fuck, I do a lot. But hopefully this, in my sharing, it will give permission to other men and women who want to expand their own creativity and share their gifts or learn things. I think that, my God, if, just imagine what the world would be like if everybody got up and did what fucking made them happy. And yes, not every day is gonna feel great, and that happiness is kind of a fleeting emotion, right? And to embrace the human experience, it means experiencing all the emotions. And I think the more diverse our palette is, the more connected we are to ourselves, to each other. And yeah. And then our expressions and everything come from a real authentic place, because we know, you know, that's why I've fucking been through the ringer. So I've healed from such, you know, really heavy physical ailments. And you know, I've come to this point in my life where I've got to heal. I couldn't keep going on the way that I was going, and because I wasn't getting anywhere, and I felt that something, I just needed to go deeper because I was seeing patterns in relationships and all of this stuff. And so, here I am, and it's been a year, and it's been an incredibly transformative, healing year for me. And it's just the beginning, because things are starting to level up. I'm connecting with people these were people that I dreamt about, literally. I was like, oh my God. It's amazing what happens when you heal and you get to you discover those limiting beliefs and those patterns and those conditioned behaviors and thoughts and these traumas. And when you heal them, you open yourself up to all kinds of amazing things. Because one of the biggest resistors for me was I thought that I was deserving of success. And I remember one of the meetings with my clients, Chuck and Missy, I love them dearly. And I remember asking, like, how could I have done better? And we had just gotten back from LA. We flew down on their private jet, and it was an incredible experience. Like, I was like, holy shit, this is bananas. And she looked at me, and she put her hand over mine, and she says, know your worth. And that I always kept with me, because these are people that I deeply respected, and who appreciated me, not just what I was capable of doing and creating, but they valued me. And that was a big turnaround. That was a game changer, because I saw, like, oh my God, these people who have abundance, who have money, and who are wealthy in my mind, financially, and they're well off and have made really good decisions, that they're kind and loving and supportive. And I'm like, I never had that experience as a kid. I knew nobody that was rich and abundant, and I think I was the first person in my family to make six figures, when I was in the trades. So I was first for a lot of things. And so this has been one incredible journey, but I wanted to break the ice and do this. I don't know if I'm gonna post it. It's pretty raw. I'm bouncing around all over the place, but it's authentic. I think that's what we all want more of, right? All the polished, and don't get me wrong, polished and shiny is nice. Yes, there's a place for that, but I think what makes it feel real is there's a human element of it not being perfect, of it that this isn't rehearsed. I got no fucking notes in front of me. I've got all kinds of stuff everywhere. But it's beautiful too. Like, it's like all of us, like, we're all a fucking mess, but there's beauty in all of that too. And then we learn to organize it and declutter, and it's this, we never achieve balance. Balance is like, it's something you work towards. It's an ebb and flow. I think of it more like harmony. We're trying to create harmony. And balance is like, it comes and then it goes, and then it comes and then it goes. Like meditation, right? It's my practice that I have found to be so impactful. I've been meditating since 2015. So I've got a little bit of time under my belt. I'm still learning. I'm still a learner. I'm still a beginner as far as I'm concerned. But as in meditation, where the goal is to center ourselves, to focus on the breath, and to, as the thoughts come in, there's no need to attach to them. I'm going to say no need. There is... the goal is to not attach to them, or that the time that we do spend on them lessens. In the beginning, it's going to be like seeing a little thing floating down the river, and then we jump in, and then we hold on. It takes us over the edge, over the waterfall. And then when you get to a point where it's like you can immediately, you see the thing, and then you let it go. And you see the thing, you let it go. And it takes practice. It's been physiologically, it's been very healing as well, because we, in today's culture, especially as fast-paced as it is, a lot of people breathe with their chest. And that contributes to all kinds of things. Anxiety, one of them, increases toxicity in the blood. And it's like deprivation of oxygen too. So learning how to, because the more we practice meditation, the easier it is to access it. I have no idea if this is even still recording, because I cannot see. I could be just talking to a fucking phone. Oh my God, that would be ridiculous. We'll see what happens. If it's meant, if the universe wants me to share this shit, then it's still rolling. All right, and action again. So, I'm not drinking Starbucks. This is pee-pee. I'm just kidding. It's delicious. But yeah, I want to share all kinds of stuff, because I love making food. I did the raw food thing for a while, so I did kimchi recipes, and I started making, I just got into making Ethiopian food. I've been eating it for years. It's like my favorite. There's a place I go to, for some of you who are from the Bay Area, Zenny's off of Payne in Saratoga. I've been going there for like 12 years. Love that place, love the people. Anywho, so I think, this, my channel, I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't even know what it's gonna look like at this point, but I've got to take action and quit. Stop worrying about it being perfect. And granted, like, it's always nice to have a focus, and there's going to be a lot of, really, I would love to do interviews with, some of the people that I know and admire, and that may come later on. And I'm still creating, I make art in all different mediums, so I'll be sharing a lot of that. And I don't know where this is going to go. Like, I feel like it's just got to be shared. Yep. And I have a lot to share. My human design, for anybody who knows what that is, I am a projector. And all of so the only, I guess, motors are in my heart and in my throat, which means this is the place that I lead from. And it's always been that way. I've been told, I'm too sensitive, I wear my heart on my sleeve, blah, blah, blah. It's my fucking superpower. It has enabled me to live a life that is being felt deeply. And that is a life truly lived, honestly. If we're just bobbing around on the top, our emotions are closed off or whatever, then I don't know. I feel like it's playing it safe. It's not why we're here. But if you get into more of the soul Ages, is a great book by Ainsley MacLeod, The Instruction, and then he's got a bunch of other books. He does Soul World Sundays, I think. Check out his stuff. He's amazing. Him and his wife, Christine, they do, would love to interview that guy one of these days. Funny thing with Ainsley is, as a kid, so I used to draw ever since I was little, like, I was drawing the little pictures that my dad would take and give to the pilots to take to the North Pole. I believed it. I believed in fucking Santa until I was like teenager. I just wanted to. And my parents didn't squash that, So I think that was one of the really cool aspects. But so I used to draw a lot, and I would think I was around the age of 10 or 9, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. I love Cheetos Cheese Puffs, and that hasn't even changed. But I used to draw Chester Cheetah a lot. And I have some of the drawings. I still got to find it because I want to send a picture to Christine, because I mentioned that that had to be a soul connection, because Ainsley was the actual guy who created Chester the cheetah. Like, how incredible is that? Like, holy shit. It was Alex and I were reading in the book, and it's like one little line that says that, and I was like, my jaw just dropped. I was like, no way. And here I am, connected with him. Like, this is bananas, you know? So it's just great. His wife follows me on Instagram, and I keep up to date on all the things that are happening with them, and it's just so cool. You know, I identify as an older soul after reading his book. I say 9-10 for me. I've had many incarnations, which is why I am able to do so many different things exceptionally well. From drawing and painting to photography to jewelry to metalworking to building whatever. I have had a lot of experience, and that doesn't come from one lifetime. I just don't subscribe to that. I did not believe in reincarnation up until about, like, I knew of it. I mean, I think I'm somewhat studied when it comes to theology, somewhat. But after reading his book, I had to put it down, because I was like, whoa, like, it made so much sense. It was so clear, and it's helped me to exercise more grace with the younger souls. I'm trying. God, driving though, that is a challenge. But there's healing parts in there too, because there's trauma, my own experience in trauma driving. I just thought of another incident that could have. I had a very serious car accident. I've had many car accidents, but I drove underneath a tractor trailer, peeled the top of the car right off. I didn't have my lap belt on. My lap belt. So I had the shoulder one on. The lap belt didn't work. And I remember driving on my way to work. I was like 19. And I'm going into all kinds of crazy stories right now. This tractor trailer is pulling out of the Milpitas materials, Minas materials. It's a concrete plant there. And this guy pulls out in a tractor, and then he had a trailer, and I went to go around him. I was like, damn, this guy's kind of close. And he pulled out a double, 2 trailers. And I was like, oh shit. And I slammed on my brakes, slid out from underneath the lap belt, dove under the dashboard, drove completely underneath the I-beam, looked up and watched the top of the car being peeled back like a sardine can. I walked away without a scratch. I stood on the seat and was like, what the fuck? It was bananas. I was like, what the hell? You know? And I learned that my dad never sued that company, because I probably would have owned it. That's a whole other story that I learned about things and behaviors and such. Yeah. So anyways, there's been a lot of wild experiences. I used to race motorcycles. But yeah, I just wanted this to be like a opening up. For me, this past year has been just amazing, filled with so many wonderful experiences. You know, Alex and I have been able to create. I mean, you know, when you've evolved is when you align yourself with a partner and you're able to create a safe space. And I never knew this was possible, but a safe space for healing. And we just talk about stuff. We open up and we just share about things. And it's been such a healing experience for the both of us. And that's when I know that, like, the tests that I was given shortly after my previous relationship and like not giving into those, something really wonderful came from that. And each one of them is, you know, they all have their wonderful qualities, each of them, and everybody's a teacher. Nobody's really good or bad. So looking at it from that perspective, it broadens the reasons why we're here, which is to grow and evolve. And I really hope this is recording, because this is some bomb shit. And I don't know. I think it is, but this would be oh fuck. I kind of just want to look around. I'm gonna check. I think it's recording. I saw the number thing on top, the time. So, and I was up there. I hope I'm still in frame. Whatever. If it's off center, maybe I can edit it a little bit. Edit it. Yeah, it feels good, because I have amassed so much like insight and knowledge and wisdom from experience. I'm like, I have to share this, because I know that it's had a positive impact on people already. I have some of my, dear friends and like my student, she's even expressed this to me, and other people have expressed, you've got to, get this information out there. I'm like, okay, in time I will. And, there will be a book that I'll be putting out. I don't know exactly when, but it's something that I am feeling this desire to work on, because I know that my life story has the potential to really help a lot of people. And I had to, the old self part of me would be like, sit down. You ain't that fucking important. And it isn't even about that. It's more like, I know that other people have inspired me with their stories. All of the artists and designers, people who've been through the fucking ringer and came out the other end smiling and loving. Those stories helped me. They showed me what was possible. Those are the people that inspired me and showed me like it can happen, And yeah, I'm a long way from where I want to be, and that's what makes this a journey. All the stuff that we learn along the way. Yeah, I'm gonna be here a long time. I feel it. I've known I'll probably live to be over 100. And that's ultimately my goal is to, because it's uncomfortable, like sitting here in front of a camera, just yammering, where the little voice or the little devil's like, shut up, dude. Nobody wants to hear what you gotta say. And the little angel's like, man, give him a break. So that's the way I see it. And that is that it's the ego, right? That's a whole other thing. The ego is only trying to keep us safe. That's its job. Self-preservation. And doing shit like this, you're putting yourself on the line, it's risky. Because you set yourself up for heartache, for hurt, for embarrassment, shame, all kinds of shit. But the people that are on their ass just talking, they ain't doing nothing. So let them be. That's where they're at. They can change too. That's another thing that I think is very important. I've had to learn this one, given the challenges I've had with, my son's mother and that whole situation. People can change. And when we judge others, we all do it every day. We prevent them from being able, in our mind, from being able to show up differently when they can. Will they? That's up to them. It's not up to us, but they can, and that's a control thing too, to want them to see the light. I'm like, why don't you get it? But people don't. I think it's better that I don't see myself right now, because it just feels more natural that I'm just staring at a fucking phone. I'm staring at the back of a phone that looks like it's hovering. Oh my god. I mean, this is a good feeling though, right? Because I feel like I'm high, but I don't do any drugs. So, yeah. What the fuck was I saying? Shit. It'll come back to me. Oh, control. Control. I'm from the 80s, if you don't know already. I'm from the 80s. That sounds funny. It's like a movie or Back to the Future. I was born in before that time, so I got to experience the 80s as a kid, and it was rad. I still use that word. God, the 80s were the best. But back to control. Control is a means for us to feel safe. It's something that we all try and do. I see it, for me, the way it shows up is I try to control my environment, and I structure my environment as to create an experience. But for me, I'm more reactive to my environment if I feel my boundaries are threatened, or crossed, and so that's a whole thing right there, is learning to establish healthy boundaries for ourselves. People don't even know what that is. I didn't even know what that is. I was like, why does this, why do I keep struggling with so many things? Well, I kind of find out that my parents didn't have very strong boundaries, and their parents, so it's just this generational conditioning thing. And I'm learning all this now, and I'm the one that's doing the work to establish it, and it's not having much of a frame of reference as far as like people in my immediate, because we attract and we associate with people that are fairly similar to what the family structure is like, to some degree. I've branched out on either side because I've gotten into so many different things, and especially now as an entrepreneur, business owner, it's broadened my horizons to meet with all kinds of people from every walk of life. Like, working in the trades was another thing. Like, I got to work with a bunch of hard dudes. I mean, these guys don't take shit from anybody, but they're the ones that are actually hurting the most, a lot of them. Anyways, so control, back to control, as I reel myself back in. It's a fear response because we don't feel safe. Or in the event that we are trying to get somebody to see the light, so to speak, that's a control thing. They have to see it at their own pace and their own time by whomever it is. And that's why it's great too, why there's so many different people in the wellness and self-help and not just self-help, but this industry of mental and physical well-being, because everybody's at a different stage on their own journey, and they're going to need to connect with people who are at a similar stage. Because if somebody's like way up here and they're down here, it's kind of hard to jump that far. But if you can it's gradual, you make your way up. And I've had to learn from a bunch of different people, sometimes a little bits of information that helped. But the more people that we can get out there doing it, the better it is going to be for the collective. And that's everybody. And like Martin Luther King had a dream. I do too. And so many other people do as well, that we can and will. It will take time, but we will evolve. And it is a process. It's not going to happen in 5, 10, 20. It could take hundreds of years. But we're laying the foundation for it. Energetically, there's a lot of things happening with Pluto and Aquarius. The energies that are at play, which are with the universal collective and that universal creative energy. Perfection is just moving things around to, I feel that it's like to help us all evolve. And granted, I believe in extraterrestrials, very much so. I would love to see one, and I feel like I have already. Those are some more stories. And you get into other philosophies, and they talk about these cycles of creation and destruction. Aztec, Maya, Hindi, Native American, like this is the wisdom. And you can get into Atlantis and all of that. I'm not so well versed in all of it, but I feel connected to it, and I'm learning a lot. And then you get into stuff like what was it? The Tree of Life and Kabbalah and sacred geometry, and that's the stuff that I really am enjoying. And crystals and all of this amazing stuff, and I love the science aspect of it, but I also the spiritual. It's like both. For me, it's very much both. Because I love that wonder and that awe that comes with just looking upon the most simplest things with amazement and the beauty in all of it. We are so blessed to live on this marble. It's a blue, green, brown planet. And yeah, it's disheartening at times to see what humanity is doing to it. But it's like, where do you want to put your energy? Some people, that is what they need to do in this lifetime, and God bless them, because we need that. And then there's other people, I feel like I'm along this train, is like we're over here building something new, and then people are going to come over there, like Kevin Costner said in the movie Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. And that's one thing that's been resonating with me the past year, is that little things are playing in the back of my mind. So it's little stuff like that is confirmation, along with so many other things. Everybody, thing, experience, and numerology. All this stuff is so fascinating. And it all plays into the way that our spirit guides, angels, are trying to help us evolve. And karma, the misconception or the misunderstanding I had of karma is that it's like what goes around comes around, like shit will come back to you. Yes, what you put out does come back, I believe, but also karma is action. So it's designed to keep you on your path, so that you will hit these roadblocks or these sometimes these really big accidents or whatever they may be. Tower moments in tarot, they call them. They could be big and small, but it's something that's meant to divert you back to your path again. Because we can get, as humans, we can get easily distracted by things and fall off that path. And then in this lifetime, it can lead us astray if we don't redirect and learn to listen to our soul, because our soul knows, and making space for that. I think that's one of the most important things that we can do. And I remember Oprah's quote where she said, the greatest gift that we can give the world is our awareness. And I think that is so incredibly true. And it's something that I work to elevate daily, is my awareness. And by doing these little things, like making the notes every day of when I see things, so many things, it's like I'm paying attention. I'm giving that my attention to show that I'm here, I'm ready, show me things, teach me things. And they're lessons. A lot of them are lessons, they're tests, they're all kinds of stuff to get me to level up, to know my worth. That's what I think every human being wants, to grow their self-worth. Because if you move from that place, anything's possible. But yeah, so I think that was pretty good. I've probably been talking for a good half hour. If this records, I'm gonna publish it. For those of you who have made it all the way through with me, bless your hearts. I had fun. I have fun. Sometimes I enjoy hearing myself talk because I've got some interesting things to share as I'm looking at all my crystals and my paintings and my jewelry, and there's lots of other stuff all about. It's quite, I have like my own art gallery in here. But yeah, so that was, today is March 10th. It is 10, oh shit, it's almost 10:10. And yeah, so this is me breaking out the box like Slick Rick. You guys know who Slick Rick is? No? Oh, the ruler, Slick Rick. Oh boy, I'm shaking the camera again. It's like this. The camera's like, yeah, I know Slick Rick. Knock it out the box. So yeah, this is me breaking out. Whew. This is probably gonna be ridiculous. I don't even know if I'm gonna watch this again. Hopefully, like I said, my frame, my picture, my head, my face is in frame, and then that way, you know, I'll feel good about sharing it. Because if not, then I will re-record if I need to. With all these gems